2024, if Biden runs again, do you think he will admit defeat if he loses?
Oh, sure.
You think he will?
Well, why wouldn't he? It's pretty evident. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
Okay, so the numbers in an election speak for themselves.
As far as if he's defeated or if he would win, I mean, you have to concede. You can't.
You do have to concede?
Well, sure.
Well, but Trump didn't concede.
Okay, I see where this is going.
What would it mean to you if the former president lost to President Biden in November?
Well, I don't believe that that's going to happen, and I think that President Trump wins any fair election, and that's all I have to say on that. In any fair election, President Trump wins.
This year is the year we do it. We are also sending a loud and clear message out there to anyone who thinks about cheating in an election. If you cheat in an election, we will find you, we will track you down, and we will prosecute you to the full extent of the law.
In 2024, will you certify the election results? Do you plan to object, or will you accept the results regardless of who wins the election?
So, Caitlin, I got to say, I think that's actually a ridiculous question.
It's a yes or no question, though.
No, it's not. Let me explain why it's a ridiculous question. It's not a question. Have you ever asked a Democrat that?
If he were to lose again, what would that mean for the country in your estimation?
We'd have an uprising. There's too many people that are ready to go now.
When you say, what does that mean? Can you be specific?
Civil war. Civil war.
You think it'll be a civil war if Trump loses again?
Oh, yes, I do. I know with people that I talk to, I'm a churchgoer, and I love God more than my life. But there are things that I do for God that I don't do for anybody else. And this is one thing. I know that God needs some help here. You know, actually, my first election that I'd been to was Donald Trump. And
when you say your first election you've been to, you never voted before that, or?
I voted, but I never got into it. Now, you know, I can spend just all waking moments thinking what I need to do. And of course, I can't afford a whole bunch of money, but I can sure talk.
Now, I had somebody tell me that they would take a bullet for Donald Trump.
I think I would too, because I'm not that young. If I was young, I'd never say that. But I would too. I mean,
We don't want to lose your wisdom to that.
but I don't know what it is about him. He's got that charisma, says it like it is, never backs down. He never says anything that he shouldn't.
Do you want to take that one back?
I know you've heard it, but I never hear those things.
If President Trump were to lose, what would that mean for you and for the country?
Doom. I mean, something's got to change. This administration now is not for this country. They're for every country except us. Yeah, so there's got to be a change somewhere. The administration is there now. We don't have a chance. I mean, we really don't.
If he were to lose again, what would that mean for you? What would that mean for the country?
I hate to think what it would mean for the country. 3.5 years that we've experienced so far are terrible, and I just think it would be that on steroids.
Should Donald Trump lose again, what would it mean to you personally, and what do you think it would mean for the country?
Well, it would be very disappointing. I think, personally, I think look at the turnout here. Look at at his opponent and the turnout that you see for him. That doesn't add up. It's pretty much pretty clear that, he has support. The other guy doesn't. The other guy, in fact, I think they cheated.
Bill Clinton back in 2020.
Bill Clinton supports rape.
Well,
Sorry.
Going back to that election, you think it was stolen?
I was definitely stolen. No doubt about it.
Well, there's some doubt, right? Because President Biden's the president now, and 60 courts said it wasn't, and here we are.
Those were procedural dismissals. Yeah. Right. So I don't think, many affidavits, they keep saying there's no evidence. The definition of an affidavit is evidence. The word evidence appears in that definition. So to dismiss all of that evidence, and they do it all the time. So it's absurd that the media, mainstream media, not all media, but much of the media is playing along.
I have thick skin. You can come after whoever.
They're hiding and suppressing news. You have the government involved in censorship, government censorship, using media as a proxy for that. It's absurd, and people see that. We're tired of it. I just don't believe that there are that many Democrat voters out there. You're trying to tell me Joe Biden got the most votes in history? Look at what was happening there. Very shady stuff. We already talked about the evidence that they're saying is not evidence, and it's the same thing with Biden's with his financial dealings, saying no evidence, no suspicious bank activity, suspicious reports, the checks. There's plenty of evidence. That's like mainstream media just won't talk about it. They're hiding it.
So to absolutely no one's surprise, the GOP has been very, very busy making sure their base knows that if Trump loses, and it's looking like he's probably not going to lose at this point, but just in case he does, it was rigged. It was all a conspiracy. Man, look, I'm 32 years old, so it's not as if I've been around for a super long time, but I've been around long enough to say that I've never seen anything like this in my life. I mean, how has the Biden administration bungled this so poorly? You got Donald Trump on the other side. They just hoping and praying and wishing that Biden stays in the race. The Heritage Foundation, they ready to sue Joe Biden if and when he decides to drop down, which he says he's not going to do, but we'll see about that. We'll definitely find out about that in the next couple of weeks. Donald Trump came out recently to say that he has no idea about this Project 2025. He has no clue whatsoever. But whatever it is that they want, I wish them the best of luck. I mean, this really just is a total mess because whether Donald Trump wins, he wins. Whether he loses, well, he won too. Because, of course, if Donald Trump doesn't get his way, then it's rigged.